Good morning and welcome to the Eclectic Radical. As always, I'm Chris Richards, the Eclectic Radical. With me today is my frequent collaborator, Youri Smouter. How are you doing today, Youri?
Well, bad moods, but it's great to be on with you, though, Chris. That's what's keeping my mood up.
Well, as long as something's keeping your mood up, I'm certainly glad that I can help. In just a few moments, folks, we're going to be talking about online age verification and why it's being pushed so hard and what it really means. But I just want to point out at the beginning of our show here that we're still in the limbo of an ongoing war with Iran, and we don't know what's going to happen next or what's going to come of it. We've been treated to the spectacle of the King of England coming to the U.S. to speak to Congress about democracy. And, to sort of remind people that they fought against this whole monarchy thing back in 1776. And I just think it's hilarious that the King of England has to come to the U.S. and remind American politicians, hey, you guys are supposed to be against monarchy and in favor of this whole democratic experiment thing. And I really don't understand what's going on here. And a literal king reminding us that we fought a war to get rid of a king is a problem. Americans shouldn't need to be reminded by a king that they fought a war to get rid of kings. But, I mean, that just tells us how weird this whole Iran situation is.
Not only that, but I just find it hilarious.
Looks like we've got some latency issues with yours.
Hilarious that, like, uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry. It looks like we're having
some.
You were freezing for a moment there.
Okay, all good now. All good now.
Seems to be maybe a little bit of a latency, but that's it right now.
Okay,
that's freezing a little again. Sorry, folks.
Hopefully all is good now, but uh-oh. Let me try this.
Well, while Yuri's checking his situation there, I was just gonna add that this whole Iran thing, where Trump and his advisors and the Iranians all disagree on what's going on, is not in any way healthy for the world or Iran or America. And Trump needs to get his shit together. He's not going to, but he needs to. And the fact that the American people are tolerating this is a problem. It looks like Yuri's still freezing in and out.
Okay.
All right.
How about now? Everything all good now on my end?
It seems a little better than it was before. Well, no, there's a freeze again. It happens when you start to talk.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, they definitely do, Natalie. Thank you very much. And definitely peace. All right. Hopefully Youri will be back. When Youri comes back, things will be a little bit better. I'm glad Natalie can be with us this morning. I want to thank everybody else who's able to make it today. If people have noticed my beard's a little shorter and my hair's a little shorter, it's because I have a job interview later today. I had another one a couple of weeks ago. This is with the same company, but a different job. We'll see what happens. Give them a second chance at me before I move on to other things. I have some other options too, but this job's close. It would be nice. All right. All right. Go ahead and talk to me.
All right. Can you hear me good right now?
I could for a moment there, but I have a frozen picture and I don't know.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, the visual is frozen.
Okay, but can you hear me?
I can hear you, and then you cut out. It's like your connection keeps freezing.
All right, okay, 1 second. I'm gonna try to fix something.
I understand. Sorry about this.
I'll be right back.
Sorry about the troubles, folks. Every now and then, my internet and Youri's internet have interacted weirdly before, but this is the first time we haven't been able to do a show at all because of it. Hopefully, we'll be able to resolve this soon. Whatever happens, I want to thank folks for joining us again. Yes, they do, and they want to rule the world by selling. The main reason they want to rule the world is so they can make us buy their stuff without having to make sure it's any good first. Look at what Elon Musk has done to Twitter. And yes, by any means necessary, as shown by the way Elon Musk bought Twitter just to be able to do what he's doing.
Okay. How about now, Chris? All good? Now?
Seems like same as before.
Okay, okay, let me try this again.
The Testaments. I don't think I'm familiar with that one. That sounds like something that I might be curious about, though. There's all too much of that good stuff out there. There's a whole prefiguring of a whole lot of. Oh, okay. That makes sense then. We're already living in that world pretty much. I hate to say it. And Margaret Atwood, because she's a Canadian, was a little over optimistic about our ability to escape to Canada. But Canadians are biased sometimes.
It's that silly Canadian nonsense nationalism that, we're so much better than the United States. And it's like, yeah, except no.
You seem to be doing a little better now.
States. At best, a giant blue state, but a right-leaning liberal blue state. It's Canada in a nutshell.
This is true. Even before Roe was nuked, when the Democrats refused to codify Roe in 2009 and told Barack Obama, no, we can't promise you the votes. That was the real Handmaid's Tale moment. That was the Democrats pulling back from the brink of everything they had promised and saying, we don't actually care about these rights.
A damn shame. All right. Right now, you can hear me perfectly, though.
Right now, we're doing much better, and it looks like we can try to start talking again. And of course, that's when he freezes again.
Okay, good. Sorry. Oh no, am I freezing again?
Yeah, we had a long moment there, and now it's all started again. And then it seems better for a few moments.
Okay.
And then when you talk, it freezes.
1, 2. Can you hear me right now? Okay.
You were in, and then you froze, and then you were in again, and then you froze again.
Okay. 1, 2, 1.
Yeah, it's really
still the same problem.
we're still having the same problem no matter what we're doing. I'm so sorry. See if turning off your video makes a difference.
Okay. Wait. 1 moment. 1 moment. Okay. Let's see. How do I do that?
You just did.
Wait. How about now? All good?
I
All
can
good
hear
now?
you. I'm not hearing you freeze as much. Keep talking. Say something about Iran. I was hoping that was going to work, but apparently disabling the video is not increasing the bandwidth available. Can you hear me, Youri? Yeah, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Now I heard something.
How about now? Is everything all good now?
I mean, I could hear you asking if everything is good now. The trick is can you keep talking for a sustained amount of time?
Try. Okay. Let me put my camera back on. It should be good. My internet should be good. Right now, nobody else in the house is using the internet, so hopefully all good. All good.
So far, we're okay. Better than before.
Okay. All right. Hopefully everything's all good now. Apologies to the audience for this.
I appreciate everyone who's still with us. It's always frustrating when this happens. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like you're able to talk a little more right now.
Okay. Hopefully it stays that way. Okay. Yeah, so think we're able to continue then?
Yeah, let's go ahead and so one thing that you may have noticed in Europe there is that everybody's passing age identification laws to try to verify that people are really over 18. And the only real excuse is this panic about kids being online too much. And I'm curious what you think of it and what it looks like from your point of view over there.
Well, that's a very good question. I don't know. There's something about this whole.
Yeah, all right. It looks like
we need to ban under. Oh no, still problems on my end.
Yeah, and we don't seem to be. You don't seem to be able to talk very long without cutting in and out. Are you seeing and hearing me okay? Am I looking stable to you?
I can hear you perfectly. Let me shut down laptop.
Okay, so it's you coming back.
Okay, let me shut down laptop.
Yeah, restarting is always a good idea.
Be right back, and apologies to the audience.
I appreciate everyone sticking with us still. Usually I do not have these kinds of technical difficulties, but it is clear that the lords of technology are not making things as convenient for us as they used to. Yeah, I appreciate everyone for hanging in there with us. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. Natalie's not wrong to blame Musk and Microsoft. The whole transition to all the technology we rely on actually being on our computer, to being on a cloud server somewhere, is not making all of this stuff function better. The idea that we have to lease our software licenses and constantly confirm them on the internet is not making things better. And you notice that we already have to identify ourselves 500 different ways to Microsoft to use our computers. So that sort of makes this whole notion of mandatory identity verification online pretty silly, especially since that ultimately all you can do is try to ID card people's computers essentially to establish that computer is really that person. And now we're talking about the end of the internet we know it, as everybody tracks everybody, and background operations tracking people take up more bandwidth than what people are actually trying to do online while they're being tracked. And yes, it's about a surveillance state, but it's even worse than that. It's about an outsourced surveillance state where these tech giants make lots of money managing the surveillance state for the government. That's why Alex Karp of Palantir has all these demented laughs as he talks about all the ways he wants to kill people around the world, because ultimately he's going to get the U.S. government to give him a contract to do what he wants. Welcome back, Youri.
Now, still problems?
Well, it seems better now. Talk for a little bit again.
Still problems now?
Talk for a little bit so I can be sure.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Sorry about all of this. We're having lots of technical issues.
And there's the freeze. So anytime
So still issues then.
Yeah. And it seems like it's not your internet. Is there any sort of, have you run any updates on your computer lately? Do you have any sort of new firewall that might need to be turned off?
No, not at all. Everything should be fine.
I'm starting to be a little bit at a loss then of what to try to think. Have you tried clearing your cache yet?
Yeah, sorry about that, Chris. Right now, I'm the only one.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's not the internet. I wonder if it's maybe the cache. And that's the worst part of it. Youri's not even using Starlink. He's got perfectly decent internet. We've done this successfully many times before. Whatever's happening is something other than the internet itself. That's why you hear me asking him questions about things like clearing the cache. Well, obviously this is a tech support problem that I may not be able to solve just yet, but at this point, all I can start to recommend is the usual stuff about rebooting the router at this point. Something seems frozen or laggy or a little bit of latency. And maybe
how about now? Is everything all good now?
That's a good question.
Everything all good now?
You haven't frozen yet. Talk for a bit. That's always the test. Yeah, and there you're frozen again.
Oh, wow. What the hell? So still issues even when...
I mean, rebooting the router is the only other thing I can think of if you've already cleared the cache. I've even done shows on weekdays with Youri before, so I don't know what's going on today. I can hear you typing keys, and that goes on, but anytime you talk for any amount of time, you start to freeze and lag.
Oh, that's terrible. How about now, though? Is everything...
Just as you were saying, is everything, you cut off, and I couldn't hear the rest of the question.
Unbelievable.
It doesn't seem like turning your video off makes a difference, so it doesn't seem like it's a bandwidth problem. It makes me wonder if it's not some sort of server connection.
I will try one more time to restart.
Appreciate everybody who's still with us, and sorry again for the technical issues. It's weird when the internet doesn't want to work, but the internet doesn't seem to be the problem. I'm not super confident about another computer reboot fixing stuff. If reboots haven't worked before. Oh no, yeah, none of the tech is working as well as it used to work. It's like I said, all them putting all that stuff on the cloud and making you and making you run stuff off a remote server instead of your computer always slows things down. Well, it's less about the conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I see the hand of MAGA behind it all. I mean, it's the same forces. It's the whole enshittification push. They want everybody to adopt the new technology and the new ways of doing things and to be happy with the new ways of doing things, and they don't want to maintain anything or make sure that it works properly. And yes, the big tech people own the cloud. They invest lots of money into it so that it's there for the people who need it, except the people who need it are big corporations and not the rest of us. And there are all sorts of ways that big corporations are prioritized over ordinary people when it comes to basic utilities and resources. And you notice we come in with Youri lagging already, whatever's going on.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's try the settings where
settings or clearing a cache or rebooting the router itself are the things I can think of now.
Okay, so the settings were the recording when the live stream
feels that way sometimes.
So the settings were to end and gets uploaded on my end. Turn that well, hopefully.
And folks, this is pretty much what the job of tech support is like. talk for a bit again?
One, two, one,
Verizon,
two, and
Madeline.
Ben.
Verizon. Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Good. It's a shame that nobody cares about keeping the network up to snuff like that anymore.
Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me, Chris? Wow.
I could hear you asking me if I could hear you. It seems maybe a little better now. Keep talking.
I'm speaking. Can you hear me? I'm speaking. Can you hear me? I'm speaking.
And there's the lag. Okay.
Can you hear me? I'm repeating.
Yeah, it keeps doing the same thing, cutting in and out every...
Oh, Lord.
I'm asking some questions in the private chat. Just sort of answer them for me before you try to do anything else.
Alrighty.
Okay, there's question number 1. What the private chat? I hate it when I hit the wrong keys. There we go. But yeah, clearing your cookies in your browsing history and such.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because that can get rid of, because like your cookies can be reporting to a website and slowing everything else down, and you don't know it because your internet is fine, that sort of thing. And go ahead and talk for me a bit yet. Talk a little bit about...
1, 2, 1, 2. The place to be. Can you hear me speaking? Can you hear me speaking? Can you hear me speaking? I'm sorry to eclectic radical audiences for all of this.
Something seems to be better now.
Okay, I am deleting all of my history. Luckily, I saved a lot of very important research, so that's all good.
You want to make sure that you save stuff you want to save to bookmarks and
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And all right, so I'm just deleting all of the history.
And there's a little bit of a lag again, which makes sense if he's clearing the cache and such. But it was a good, that was the longest bit before we hit a lag for a while.
Okay, still deleting a lot of history right now. Very sorry to...
Yeah, there's another lag, but we still seem to be... Yeah, we'll see.
Ooh, very sorry to the audience for this.
No. And on my Windows my Windows menu, there's a clear your clear your temporary internet files, and usually that's all you need to do.
Yeah, but yeah, no, but normally
normally it shouldn't make a difference.
It's always good. It's always good to delete the history and so forth. So that's what I'm doing. Excuse me.
Yeah, before I got laid off, I used to troubleshoot stuff like this in general for a living, so.
Ever have terminated your employment, my man?
Yeah, well. And the next thing usually, and this is because it resets your connection on the other side and not just your side. The next thing, if this doesn't seem to work, would be actually rebooting the router.
So delete all the history and then restart and try to come back in.
Yeah, you'd want to restart the computer after clearing the cache if clearing the cache doesn't work right away. And then if that doesn't work, then the next thing would be reboot the router and wait for the internet to come up. Okay. Sometimes it's just the connection between you and the server on the back end, and rebooting the router can fix that. And yes, this really does, because all this online identity verification slows down everything else. It's one more background operation that has to run on the internet. It's one more cookie that is reporting to a server somewhere. It's one more thing to make the whole online experience less fun for everyone, less convenient, less practical, less useful. I'll go ahead and send you a fresh link too, just because. So when you come back, look for your newest email.
All right, everything should be gone.
Yes, there's a lot. It takes as much time to do stuff online now as it does to do things the old-fashioned way, because you're waiting for connections sometimes, and it didn't used to be that way. But it's all those background operations again, those trackers, those cookies, those background operations caching your data, all the little things that big tech does on the other side. And yes, the AI operations, when you add in the AI operations, that just makes everything else more complicated. There are these little extra AI tools in this streaming software that, I mean, I don't use most of them because I make my own content. I don't need to generate anything. I use a clipping tool. I generate closed captions and transcripts, but those are things that work within the large language model. It's just recognizing the program. Yes, this is good computer maintenance too. The task manager stuff can cause all sorts of problems. Honestly, the best thing you can do is shut your computer down before you go to bed at night and turn it on in the morning. But Apple tells you now on your phone, "Oh, don't go in and shut down your background operations. Let them run." And I'm like, no, 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 no. We know better than that. Appreciate anyone who's still sticking with us today. Sorry about the troubles. I'm probably just going to go ahead and do a bit of a monologue if Youri can't get this fixed a bit. I'll still upload this so that people can see the tech support Odyssey if they want. I think it's, like Natalie said, I think there's stuff here worth sharing. But at the same time, I would really like for this stuff to work so I could do the show I intended to do. Yeah. I hope other people think so. I do, because I don't want this day to be a complete waste.
I hope everything's working. Is everything working?
I can still hear you.
No?
It seems like there was some lag here and there, but I could hear you. There doesn't seem to be a big freeze problem yet. And then he freezes right after I say that.
No. Okay. Okay, one more thing to try. Let's do the following. Sign off for the time. Settings where whenever we finish, I get a copy of.
I suppose it could be that feature doing it.
Turn that off.
I would think if that feature was what was doing it.
Okay, one more thing.
If that was what was doing it, I would think we'd see something right away, but I don't know. There's something I'm going on. I'm not super. All right. Yeah. Still lagging.
Oh no. Jeez, someone's really out to get me today.
It definitely seems like something's going on that isn't usually going on. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I can think of is rebooting the actual router to make a new connection with. And if that doesn't work, we might have to give up.
How about now, Chris? Still issues?
talk for a bit. Talk about online age verification, whatever you've been thinking about it.
I personally see a lot of red flags. I think it's like the latest moral panic.
Yeah, no, we're definitely still. It's definitely still lagging, and I think we're going to have to go ahead and call it.
We can try one more thing.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of, if you haven't done it already, is rebooting the router. But if that doesn't work, I'm out of ideas.
Restart a laptop 4 times and deleted all browsing history and only have this window open and Outlook.
Yeah, whatever's going on, I don't think it's on your end. The only thing that I can think of, if you haven't already done it, like I said, is rebooting the router. Restarting the laptop once might fix it, but restarting it 3 more times won't fix anything if the first reboot doesn't. Restarting the router makes a new server connection and possibly gets rid of lag.
That is something to check with my dad.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to call it for now. I really appreciate everybody joining us today. I am sorry that we weren't able to have the conversation I wanted, but I do want to sort of close out by saying you can see how the internet already has enough background operations and issues with the way it functions that 2 people who are really good at doing a lot of this stuff and do it, every day, every week, can't get this figured out, then maybe we shouldn't load a bunch more background operations on it to slow down everybody's internet that much more. Maybe we shouldn't change everything because of a moral panic when we're still having trouble ironing out the functions of the internet we have now. And I think that I think that the sort of tech support odyssey that we were in trying to get Youri's stream running a little better is an excellent example of what our tech industry is doing wrong. They want to push us to the new stuff without even bothering to make sure the existing stuff runs the way it's supposed to. And that's a problem with the need to constantly generate profits as opposed to improving your product for the people already paying you money. It's the downside of the whole focus on growth over everything else. I am hoping that when I come back on Sunday, when I hope to be able to talk about the current limbo with the Iran war, to have fewer problems. In the meantime, until the next time, I'll tweet at you.
Sorry, folks.